What's up, you guys? This time we're going to be looking at a video from a channel that really focuses on the passport bro culture, but the channel did some videos about Japan that I have a few issues with. I'm not trying to hate on the channel or the passport bro culture in general, but I do think getting another perspective about life in Japan will help you guys, like if you do come here and you do want to meet girls, so that you kind of have a more realistic image about what you're going to get yourself into, and not just necessarily believe everything that you see on YouTube. I'm also going to supplement that with another video by a popular YouTuber so that you don't just think it's just me talking, that you can kind of hear another perspective by a Japanese person as well. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better image about how to deal with Japanese women, what to expect when you do come to Japan, and maybe you do have a bit of Japanese speaking ability, and you'll understand a bit more about how Japanese people react when you show up speaking Japanese. Alright, so this video is by International Passport. He's, from his voice, he seems like a black dude, maybe from the UK. He does, again, a lot of videos. Sometimes it seems like he streams with a guy who lives in Japan as well. I didn't really go hunting for their stream. I didn't go that deep, but a lot of the clips have started popping up on my timeline since I've been doing more content related to Japanese women. And a couple of the videos from footage, I guess, where he came to Japan really caught my attention, and this is one of them. Just to give you some context of the situation, I think I saw another clip. So he's walking around talking with this Japanese woman. I guess she's showing him around. I don't know how they met. And she's showing him around and with her cute little dog, and they encounter a group of Japanese women, and he starts, talking to her in Japanese. Now, he has basic Japanese skill. Maybe he took a class or two. He can ask a few questions. He lacks a lot of basic vocabulary. I'm not trying to bash his Japanese skill or anything like that. Don't think of it oh, my Japanese is dope and his isn't. There's always someone whose Japanese is better than yours. Mine too. My Japanese isn't perfect, but I'm guessing that a lot of you listening and watching this video can't understand Japanese. So not only the words of what the women are saying, but also the context and their body language. I want to give you a little bit more data based about that. So I'll give you my interpretation of what I see going on, and versus what he's trying to represent in the video. Again, I'm going to leave a link to the original video at the end of this, so just hang out, chill out with me, and then at the end you can watch the whole video if you want, or you can check the description of this video and I'll just have all the links listed there.
Oh, すごい. Wow. Your favorite place? Your favorite? Oh, 大好き? Yeah. すごい. Kawaii, ne? Kawaii, 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 baca kawaii. Kawaii. Namae wa? Jista. Kawaii.
So right off the bat, I could tell he learned sugoi, he learned kawaii, and he learned daisuki. Those are very common words. I mean, I think he overuses them a bit. He can get away with it for about 1 or 2 minutes in the conversation, but anything longer than that, you'll see that he kind of struggles a bit. Again, not knocking his Japanese skill, I'm just giving you a heads up. Now, when these girls meet them, if you listen, they freak out. Not over him, it's about the dog. First off, it's nighttime. So as you can see, by the way, Asakusa is really not popping at night at all. And in another video, I talked about that and explained where to go at nighttime. But you can see, it's nighttime. So he's a foreign guy. Let's imagine he's bigger than the average Japanese woman. Now, your average Japanese women are not going to react like that at all. They're completely disarmed because he's with a Japanese woman already who has a really cute white, I don't know what type it is, but small, cute, white, fluffy dog. Women gonna go crazy for that wherever you are. It's not because he's a foreign guy and he strolls through and is like, yo, what's up? And they're like, oh my God, oh shit. No, it's not. That happens on occasion, but this situation, it's not like an automatic response that you get. By the way, I love the fact that he's taking complete credit for a dog that's not his at all. Like he's just like, "Oh, you love this? You love it?" It's just like, that's not your dog, man. I mean, get it how you can get it. I'm not mad at it at all, but that part of the video is, I think, the most hilarious part of this.
日本人ですか？
日本人。
でどこ出身？
静岡。
静岡のどこ？
浜松。
浜松、オールビ？すごい。友達をsisters。
友達。
すごい。どこ住んでますか？
今。
はい。
今は
東京。
東京のどこ？
私は世田谷。
世田谷。あなた？
新小岩。
あなた。
武蔵野。
すごい。
みんな違うんですよ。
すごい。
聞いてて笑っちゃった。
So the conversation starts off, I think, well, but you can see they're totally focused on the dog. This is not about him at all, right? And I wouldn't really start by asking if women are Japanese. Like, it's fine question, but it's not really a normal question that people would get here in Japan. Like, I mean, doko no shushin, like, where are you from? And they're from Shizuoka. I mean, I don't think he has any idea where Shizuoka is, but it's a little ways away. It's near Mount Fuji, basically. But so maybe they were traveling here, maybe probably friends from college or high school friends on a trip or to Tokyo to go sightseeing and stuff like that, which makes me believe they're more, like, not, I don't want to say naive, but more conservative, just country girls from a small town, maybe countryside, or maybe even Shizuoka City, which is a smaller laid back town. So they're not really kind of thinking about like meeting or hooking up or anything like that. They're just on a little girls trip, and not like a Western girls trip. They're just like on a girls trip. They're probably going to Tokyo, Asakusa to eat some food, go sightseeing, or do something like that. That's my first impression of what's going on here. Another important thing I want to mention is body language. Watch their body language as this interview progresses, right? So in the beginning, how they're reacting to the dog and how they're answering his questions is very subtle, but they seem very relaxed and calm and things like that. And I'll try to point out when their body language starts to change as this progresses, which lets me know that they're kind of like, okay, whatever, I'm over this, I'm ready to go.
仕事は何ですか？
私は今はなんていうの？フリーター。
OK。あなたの仕事は何ですか？
検査技師。
すごい。
歯科助手。
すごい。かっこいい。めっちゃかっこいい。
So me personally, this is the part of this video where I start to feel a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit bad for the girls. Like, first off, I don't know what type of camera equipment he has, but I'm guessing he has a camera that's visible. If you heard me talk about other videos, just recording people here isn't really a good thing, to do, especially without their permission. So if they can see the camera, I saw the one on the left, she kind of looked down and noticed the camera. They're starting to be aware that, okay, he's interviewing me. And, the one in the middle, especially, is still focused on the dog, but they're starting to be like, his questions are, he's going into kind of interview, content creator mode, and they're starting to get a little bit apprehensive about the situation. The one in the middle still isn't. The one on the left, she's starting to be like, wait a second, what's going on? The one on the right, a little bit as well. The one in the middle still is focusing on the dog and stuff like that. But for me, this is where, like, living in Japan, I would just kind of, like, okay, thanks, and then literally leave, because I would start to sense that I'm making them uncomfortable. He can't do that in this situation. So yeah, this is where it starts to get a little cringy for me.
日本語ちょっとだけ、すみません。あなたは英語話せたわ？
あんまり話せない。
英語じゃない？
あんまり
little? Practice. Practice. Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from 静岡。
すごい。すごい。おめでとう。What is your hobbies? What are your hobbies? Shimu wa nan desu ka? Cooking.
Cooking.
Sugoi. Let me ask you this now. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Aoi.
Aoi.
See, like the energy of the conversation is a really, really important thing here. Now, for me, I'm looking at the one in the middle, right? She's clearly like starting to check out in the situation. The other two friends, especially the one on the right, in the background, she seems more of like a personable type of person and more open to like be on camera and stuff like that. But the other friends are kind of more starting to get quiet and not really like as into this type of situation. What he did, where say, can you speak English? And they're like, no, of course not. And he pushed a little bit, which I say, like, if you are talking to a girl in Japanese, like, if her English isn't that good, she'll probably say that she can't speak English. It is a good thing to say, no, it's fine, you can do it, or let's try. He's a little bit pushier than I would be. Probably they're even more nervous because they're on camera as well. But in a one-on-one real situation, like if you're sitting down, you're at a bar, you're at a club, you're literally talking to a girl, and she's like, I can't speak English or something like that. Maybe, with this, like, you can do it, let's try, or something like that. I don't fault him for that. And he probably got the reaction omedetou or things like that, like congratulations. He's like, congratulations, you can speak English. Or sugoi, again, he says sugoi a little bit way too much for me, man. Like, it's a little crazy. Once or twice in a conversation is okay, but he probably is picked up how he heard Japanese women say it, and so he copied that. That's another thing that I had to learn when I came here as well. Like, when you're talking, especially if you're here like a foreign guy, you're probably gonna be talking to women a lot more than men in the beginning, and picking up their speech patterns makes you sound like a girl. Like I did it too. Like my first couple years here when I started speaking Japanese, I had other, guys and me and other foreign guys talked about it. Like our Japanese teachers was like, you sound like a girl right now. And him saying like, oh, sugoi, is like, oh, sugoi. If you listen to how the girls say it and listen to how he says it, they're basically saying it the same way. So he's just sounded really good. Again, not knocking him. It's just something that happens quite a bit. I want you guys to be aware of it if you do come here, that you don't necessarily want to copy, what you're hearing, the way you're hearing Japanese women say sugoi or daijobu or things like that, because they're women and you're not.
Ego, you want to practice? No, don't. Okay, so where is your favorite place in Tokyo?
Shibuya.
Shibuya? Okay. Why Shibuya? Tell me why.
なんだろうね。
Yeah, and it's clear they want to leave now. Especially he's focused on the one on the right who's still kind of engaged with him. But if you notice the two in the middle and on the left, especially one in the middle, if you go back for a second and watch her facial expressions when he keeps asking with the question, she's like, ugh, and she's kind of giving her friend that vibe, like, let's get out of here now. And the two are really quiet and still focusing on the dog, but not really excited. They're just like silently looking at the dog, not looking at him anymore. That's to let the friend know, like, okay, let's get out of here. Like, I'm kind of over the situation. And you can kind of feel the energy of the conversation really go down compared to how it starts. I encourage you to go back and again, at the end of the video, watch the link and watch the full progress of the interview, the content. But you'll see like the energy of the conversation go down, the reaction of all three of them in the beginning versus the middle and towards the end. And now we're at the point where it's clear the other two just do not want to be on camera. They're kind of done with the conversation. He's really pushing kind of weird questions that they're not really into. He's pushing them to speak English, which they don't have any interest in doing. The one on the right, maybe she's excited to get some attention from a foreign guy. Maybe has no problem being on camera. If she were by herself, I would say the conversation might go a lot smoother and she might be willing to actually talk to him for an extended period of time, practice English or something like that. But the other two, no. But he can't really pick that up. And so it gets weird.
Where is your favorite place in Tokyo and why?
なんだろう。なんだろうね。そんな海外。浅草。
Asakusa. Asakusa. Why? Why Asakusa? Tell me why. Nande? Why?
やっぱ日本の文化。
Oh. And your turn to practice English. So, where are you from?
私
Yeah, where are you from?
Where are you from?
from 静岡
Okay.
So I do want to be constructive about this. You know, I'm not trying to just tear this down, but the questions that he's asking are not really conducive to a conversation with Japanese girls who can't really speak English so well. If you notice, he's asking like where, when, 5W1H, where, when, how, what do you think? Questions. They don't have the language ability to answer those type of questions. So you're going to need, like I'm a teacher, and in these type of situations, even before I could speak Japanese, what I would recommend if you're coming here and you want to strike up a conversation, ask yes, no questions. Do you like Asakusa? Do you like Shibuya? Which one do you like better, Asakusa or Shibuya? Oh, which is better? You know, the food is better here or over there. Or I like, ramen. What kind of ramen do you like? Is it this one or this one? Giving kind of closed-ended questions helps facilitate the conversation a lot more, because maybe even if they have an opinion, they don't have the ability to answer it because they don't have the language skill. They're not dumb or anything like that. They just can't communicate it in English. Plus you got this dude with a camera in their face in the middle of the night, and they're like, yo, who is these guys? Do they work for like the work for like the porn industry or something? Are they trying to like recruit us? Like, what's going on? My point is, you can't really judge how much Japanese girls are into you based on like their reaction, especially when you know just a few words of Japanese. And now I want to show you a clip from another YouTuber that I really respect. He gives a lot of really interesting information about Japan, and he gives some insight to kind of back up what I was trying to say.
So there is a famous phrase in this community of people who are learning Japanese, and that is 日本語上手. It means your Japanese is good. And if you go to Japan and speak Japanese, at some point you will hear it. This is a compliment, but many people hate it. Why is that? Well, some people feel it's insincere because they might say it even though your Japanese isn't that good. For example, you can be saying ありがとうございます Thank you. And they will be like 日本語上手ですね Wow, your Japanese is good. When that's literally the only Japanese you know.
The main reason why I showed this is because I want you to understand that your perception of the amount of your Japanese ability is probably gonna not really match the reality of how you can communicate, especially if you're basing it on the reaction that Japanese people, especially women, give you when you first meet them, right? You're gonna hear, oh, your Japanese is good, quite a bit, or reaction surprise, because a lot of Japanese people just can't imagine that foreign people, non-Japanese people, can speak Japanese, no matter what level it is. Like, or same thing about using chopsticks. I see people are surprised that I can use chopsticks even after 20 years. So don't get overly confident just because you learn a few words and because you can carry on a simple conversation, or introduce yourself or things like that. Like, that doesn't mean that all the girls love you and all of them are really going wild because you say you picked up a couple of words or a couple of phrases before coming here. I'm not bashing, I'm not knocking you. I'm just trying to give some context so that you have a more realistic image of how Japanese people are communicating with you when you come here, so that you can actually communicate on a deeper level. If you know where you stand, then you'll be able to get further, in my opinion, versus thinking one way and not being able to pick up the signals that are really being given to you based on some stuff that you saw online. Again, I'm not knocking this dude, but it is really important that we get some context to what you're seeing. So you can go ahead and watch this video or let me know with a comment what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.